So after 13 hot summer marathon training weeks, we are finally in the week of London Marathon 2022. We've had good weeks, we've had bad weeks, but overall this block has probably been one of the best that I've ever put together. And today is a day we're going to sit down and talk all about everything that's going to be going in to race day. What is up guys, Andy Forrest Runner here. Welcome back to another video, and today we're talking about tracking, we're talking about the gear I'll be using, and we'll be talking about race tactics. So if you've been following the training series over the last few weeks, I want to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you. Today what I want to cover is stuff that I'm not really covering in this final upcoming week, which is all about how you can track me, what gear I'm going to be using, and then of course what my race tactics are going to be, plus an injury that I've managed to pick up during taper week. But we will do being our best to get to that start line as fit and fresh as possible. So we'll cover all of that today. If you're excited, please give this video a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and we'll start with gear and tracking. So let's go through the gear that I'm going to be wearing on race day, clothes, shoes, all of that stuff, and then we'll talk about this injury I've picked up and how that's going to affect my racing plan or tactics for Sunday. So in terms of gear, well actually very quickly first, I'll throw on screen my bib number, my tracking details now. So obviously you can use the London Marathon app, which you can download on Android and iOS. I'm sure loads of you have already downloaded it already. You can just search up my name, Andy space Rayner. As I said, it will be on screen. I can't remember off the top of my head what my bib number is. I haven't looked into it, but I know I found myself in the app. So it's there for you to track. If you wish to track me, that would be fantastic. Obviously it gives splits every 5K, so you'll be able to see how I progress through the race. Let's go through the kit that we're going to be wearing. A lot of you will have seen it during the training series if you have been watching, but we'll go through the vests, the shorts, the socks, the shoes, all of that stuff, and then the gizmos and gadgets that we'll be wearing. So obviously you've seen this vest all the time in all of my race videos. This is the Soar racing singlet. This is one that I have raced in all through the year. I've raced in it loads, and that's why I'm super comfy to race in it this weekend. Obviously, if you've seen Soar have been sponsoring the last few race training vlogs, and I really appreciate that. Before they were sponsoring it anyway, if you'd have seen back earlier in the series, you've known that I'd been wearing this kit anyway. So I am excited to wear this. This is the best racing singlet that I have, and I'm super excited for this one. Likewise, the marathon shorts from Soar is the one I'm going to be wearing. Why I'm so excited about these and why they're such a game changer is these little elastic loops at the top here. This completely removes the need for me to wear a belt, which is massive because belts do give me some gastro issues. And you can fit 2 gels in each of these pouches here. So I can get 4 gels in the front, and there's a hefty pocket in the back here to fit another couple in if you wanted to. I'm planning to take 5 gels, and I'll be taking the Science in Sport Beta gel. So those are the ones I've been testing with all through my training block. Those are the ones that I've taken 1, 2, 3 of each on a long run, and I've been really happy with how they've done. So I'm comfortable with those. Those are the gels I'm taking. And in terms of Soar discounts, I've been sharing a Soar discount code. I'll try and make sure I pop it on screen again. The marathon shorts have just come back in stock. So a few of you said, thanks for sharing the code, Andy, but they don't have a lot in stock. Obviously it's marathon season, people are buying everything. They are quite low in stock on a lot of things, but they have restocked on the marathon shorts, and these are certainly worth picking up. These are the best things you can buy in my opinion. So that's the shirt and the top. Now, if I'd have had more time, I'd have worn their socks. They recently sent me these socks, probably in the last week. I love them, but I had planned at the beginning of the training block to wear these Versus Union Jack socks just because it's London, and I thought these would be a fantastic pair of socks to wear. So I've worn these on about 3 or 4 long runs just to make sure I'm comfortable in them. They give me no blisters and hot spots. If I'd have had a chance to have worn these more, I probably would have done because it kind of goes with the vest and stuff, but I will be repping these. And actually I'm very happy with these. I've been using them in other races as well. So these are made by a brand called Versus, and they are really nice. Let's see if we can get that up on screen there. Just really apt for the weekend ahead. In terms of hats, I'm going to be wearing the Ben Parks matte black cap, and then I'll be clipping my Insta360 Go-To clip on the front as you normally see. Pop it on like that, and I'll be recording the race from the camera up there. So I'll be wearing the hat. And then gizmos and gadgets, I'll be wearing my Garmin Forerunner 245 with the custom straps provided by Fit Straps UK. Again, they were kind enough to share a discount, so I'm going with the blue and the white straps for London. And then I've got my Polar OH1 heart rate monitor. This has since been discontinued since I bought it, and I believe it's now called the Verity Sense or something like that. But this has been a great bit of kit. And in terms of shoes, you all know what I'm going to be wearing. It's going to be the Alpha Fly, still in the bag here. So these have 96 miles in them, but they still feel really, really good. These are my race shoe of choice. These are the ones that I've been holding back on throughout this training block. I've done a couple of decent runs in them just to make sure I'm happy with them, but I've raced in them all this year, set great PBs in them. They are the only shoe for me for the marathon at the moment. Until I find something better, these are going to be the ones I'm stocking up on. So these are the shoes I'm going to be racing in. All right, so let's jump into race tactics. But first, let's talk about this injury that has struck me down this week. My back has gone again. It went on Tuesday, so I'm not going to give full information out here today. I want you to tune in to the final training series video, which will hopefully try and get out on Saturday. I'm heading up to London on Saturday morning, and my friend Lee, who you've seen in some of the videos, who you'll have seen on this week's training vlog coming up that I did the workout with in the morning, he's going to grab my bib for me on the Friday, fingers crossed, so that I don't have to go to the Excel. I don't want to be standing around for ages on the Saturday, so I'm going to do a few bits and bobs with the family, then I'm going to head back to the hotel relatively early or mid-afternoon on Saturday. So in terms of the injury, as I said, I've shared more information in the training vlog, check that out. Basically, my back went during the workout I was doing with Lee. It was like someone had sniped me in the back. I just went straight to my knees. The pain was excruciating, and my whole sort of left side above my glute and lower back just completely locked up. So that was horrific. It's now a day after that injury. Thankfully, I had a sports massage, and I'm feeling a lot better today. The pain is still there. It's actually worse than it was yesterday. I've been told to expect that because my sports massage therapist really had to go in and unlock everything. But I have more range of movement today, so I'm feeling a little bit more hopeful that I'm going to get to the start line in one piece. So there's 3 areas I want to cover here. If you've been following the training series from the beginning, you'll know that what I wanted to do with this marathon was not go 100% all out, because this marathon has a bigger significance for me in the fact that I'm running it for my sister and my mum, who I sadly lost to cancer earlier this year. So what I kind of promised myself I'd do is I really want to enjoy the spirit of London and enjoy the race. So I kind of want to run it at 95% effort and make sure that I don't hit the wall at the end, to allow myself to soak up and absorb the atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, I expect it to be painful towards the end, but I don't want to be in a position where I run out of fuel or I bonk, basically. So the goal was always going to be run at a 95% effort. So I'm going to give you what I would have gone out at if this marathon didn't have any other significance to me, and I would have really wanted to commit 100% to it. I'm going to give you what my plan was, and now what I might have to do based on this injury, depending on how it is on Sunday. So my plan is always to negative split it, and I did want to be cautious in the first 2 or 3 miles. I didn't want to see anything above or below a 6:10 per mile in the first 2 or 3 miles, ideally. I mean, if I do 6:07, 6:08, 6:09, I'll kind of accept it because of GPS wobbles, but I certainly don't want to be low 6s at that point. That is not on the cards, and I'm not interested in seeing that. I want to take a slow and cautious approach. At that point, if I was going for 100%, what I would try and do is sit somewhere between 5:55 per mile pace and 6 per mile pace. What I wanted to do at 95% was go between 6 and 6:05 for the next halfway, and then depending on how I feel, I'm just going to have to play it by ear. If I rock up to the start line and my back is still really tight and bad, I'm just going to run whatever it is. I'm just going to finish it and enjoy it, and pace is just going to go out the window, and it will be something that I either work into or just have to sit back at moderate pace or do whatever. I am still kind of clinging on to hope that I can follow this 95%, but we'll just have to play it by ear. What that means is if I was doing my A goal, I would try and split halfway in around sort of 1:18 for the half marathon, and then try, if possible, to go 1:17:30 or 1:18 again on either even or just slightly negative split it, and try and go 2:30, 235.30 to 236.30. I feel like that's the type of shape that I could be in. I've run a couple of 117 halves in training within workouts and they felt good. I felt like there's something that if I was fresh on race day, I could certainly go through the half in 118 and still feel really, really good. I'm not risking it this time. That's not what it's all about. So my main strategy is going to be to try and go through halfway in 120 to 119.30. And then negative split it to try and come in around 239-ish or somewhere there or thereabouts. That's not the be all and end all for me. That would be a wonderful goal if it happened, and B goal for me is going to be to go sub 245 just because I'd love that Berlin qualifier for next year. And then obviously the C goal is following that third race strategy that might be, which is if my back is still really bad, I'm just going to have to go and run. It is what it is. Or if my back goes during the race again because it's still weak, it is what it is. So I've got three scenarios playing out in my head. The first scenario is what I think I'm capable of, but I'm certainly not going to try and find out. Or I'm certainly not going to go through halfway at that pace and try and find out. Put it that way. The B goal is what I'm kind of trying to focus on still, and kind of after the 2 or 3 6:10 per miles, just try and sit as close to 6 flat as possible and go through halfway, as I said, between 119.30 and 120, and then progress from there if I have anything left in the tank. So there we go. That's my final conclusion on race gear, tracking, injuries, drama, you name it, tactics. There it all is. It's all laid out there for you. Hopefully that gives you an idea as to what my focus is, where my mind is at, and fingers crossed the back will keep loosening up towards race day. Got 4 more days now, so I'm just going to keep on with my mobility, keep on with my exercises, keep on with my strength, and fingers crossed we'll get to Sunday in some kind of decent shape. If I don't quite get any of the goals, I'm not going to stress. My focus is to cross the finish line and just be grateful that I've raised the amount of money that I have for my mum and sister. That is the be all and end all. Time goals will be something I can focus on in a future marathon, but I think laying those out there gives you an idea as to where my mind's at in terms of where I feel my fitness is and what I would love to achieve if the stars align. So that's it. I just want to say a massive thanks to each and every one of you for sticking around through this training series, and I appreciate it more than you can imagine. Stay tuned for Saturday, and then in terms of the race vlog, it's going to be Tuesday. I'm going to be traveling back late Sunday night. I'm certainly not going to stay up late on Sunday night to edit the vlog, so I'll make sure that gets out on Tuesday for you guys, and fingers crossed I can have a good video for you there. That's it for today though, guys. If you enjoyed it, please do give it a like, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel for weekly running content, and as always, I'll see you in the next one. Until then.